My name is Barry Allen, and I'm the fastest man alive. What an incredibly iconic opening, isn't it? It just instantly plunges us into a world of, well, incredible speed, profound heroism, and some really deeply complex narratives. Today, you've sent us some truly fascinating sources that will let us deep dive into the very essence of Grant Gustin's portrayal of the Flash. We'll be exploring not just his heroic identity, but some truly unexpected possibilities for the character's future and a pivotal, really high stakes confrontation that defined him. Okay, let's really unpack this.
It's striking, isn't it, how these seemingly disparate pieces of information, you've got that signature opening line, then this surprising casting idea that kind of flips our expectations, and then you move to a truly brutal, villainous encounter. They all weave together. They form a much richer understanding of a character many of us, thought we already knew so well. Our mission for this deep dive is really to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge from these sources, helping you truly grasp the intricate layers behind this lightning-fast hero and the profound choices that have consistently defined his journey.
Let's begin with that foundational element we just heard. My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive.
Mm.
This isn't just a catchy phrase, is it? Or like a simple introduction for Gustin's Flash. For many, it's the very core of his portrayal, almost like a mission statement. We know him as the Flash, embodying not just that superhuman speed, but also quick thinking, an unwavering commitment to protecting Central City, and an innate, almost relentless drive.
Yeah, exactly.
This line, often delivered with this sense of urgent purpose, it instantly connects us to the character's relentless pursuit of justice, but it also carries a deeper weight, I think. It's probably the first thing many of us conjure when we think of his version of the character.
Excellent.
It's a powerful encapsulation of his role and his mission that really transcends mere words.
Hmm.
And for Barry himself, it seems like it's a constant, sometimes heavy reminder of who he is and what he stands for in a world that's perpetually under threat.
That's a powerful observation.
This declaration really sets the tone for every challenge he faces, doesn't it? Every impossible race he runs, every decision he has to make in, well, the blink of an eye.
It really does. Indeed, this statement is far more than just an introduction. It's a declaration of his very being and his primary power, yes, but it's also an ongoing commitment, like you said. It doesn't just establish his identity to the audience. It constantly reinforces it to himself as he grapples with the immense responsibilities that come with such an extraordinary gift.
That's a great point every time he says it.
Right. Think about it. Every time he utters those words, he's effectively signing up again for a life of extraordinary demands and relentless self-sacrifice. It grounds the character in his superhuman ability while simultaneously hinting at that constant internal and external race he's always running.
Not just against villains.
Exactly. Not just against villains, but against time, against his past, against his own doubts. It's a heavy mantle to bear. And that line becomes an anchor for him, especially when faced with dilemmas that challenge the very core of what it means to be a hero.
So it signifies his acceptance of his destiny, but also his active role.
Precisely. His active role in shaping that destiny, rather than simply being a pawn of fate. The repetition of the line across various episodes and seasons, it serves to underline the consistency of his character, even as the challenges he faces evolve and grow in complexity.
Right.
It's a reliable touchstone for the audience, a kind of comforting signal that our hero is present and ready to face whatever comes next, no matter how fast or how dangerous it might seem.
Okay, and speaking of identity and future, one of your sources titled Gustin's Flash, a DCU return. It brings up an incredibly exciting prospect, one that has truly ignited fan speculation, the possibility of Grant Gustin possibly returning as Flash to James Gunn's DCU.
Wow.
Now, this is monumental. It suggests a potential, maybe even unprecedented bridge between different iterations of the DC universe, acknowledging the profound impact and enduring legacy of his long-standing role as Barry Allen.
It really does.
For years, fans have debated and dreamed about this very possibility, haven't they?
Nonsense.
And now, to have it even considered within the framework of a new interconnected DC universe.
Yeah.
Well, it's a massive testament to the resonance Gustin's portrayal has had.
It absolutely is.
He didn't just play the character, he kind of imprinted his version of the Flash into the public consciousness for nearly a decade.
That's true. He is the Flash for a whole generation of viewers.
So imagine the narrative implications. This wouldn't just be a fleeting cameo, right? It could be a potential integration of his established history and fan-favorite characterization into a whole, fresh narrative tapestry. It could be a powerful way to honor the the legacy of what came before while simultaneously forging bold new paths, potentially creating a continuity that is both expansive and deeply satisfying for those who have followed his journey for so long.
Yeah.
It feels like a recognition that some portrayals just transcend their original medium.
You've hit on a crucial point there. If we connect this to the bigger picture of modern superhero storytelling, this possibility raises fascinating questions about continuity, about the very concept of a shared universe. And, of course, the multiverse, that idea of infinite parallel realities, which has become increasingly central to these narratives, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere now. A return for Gustin would not only validate his significant multi-year contribution to the character and the broader DC television landscape, but it would also potentially integrate his established heroic journey into a new, overarching DC cinematic and television universe.
Which would be huge.
It's an undeniable testament to the character's enduring appeal and the actor's definitive embodiment of the role that such a return is even on the table. It offers a compelling blend of nostalgia for longtime viewers and fresh storytelling possibilities for new ones.
Right.
This isn't merely about bringing back a familiar face, as you said. It's about leveraging the enormous emotional investment that millions of viewers have already placed in this particular iteration of Barry Allen. It suggests a DC universe that is maybe willing to embrace its past while boldly building for its future.
A more nuanced approach.
Exactly. A nuanced approach that acknowledges the richness of its various storytelling ventures. The concept of a multiverse allows for this kind of fluidity, doesn't it? Enabling beloved interpretations to coexist and even interact, thus expanding the narrative playground rather than simply rebooting it wholesale.
That makes sense.
It truly speaks to a deep recognition of fan loyalty and the transformative power of a performance that transcends individual series or films.
That longevity really makes his potential return compelling. But what do you think, though, about the challenge of integrating a Flash with such an extensive, established history into a brand new universe?
It could be seen as a double-edged sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bringing fan excitement, but also potential baggage. It's absolutely a valid concern and, honestly, a fascinating challenge for any storyteller. On one hand, you have immediate audience recognition and emotional investment, which is a tremendous asset.
For sure.
Gustin's Barry Allen has a built-in fan base, a deep well of character development, a rich history of trials and triumphs. You don't have to spend precious screen time on an origin story, which is like a huge benefit in a crowded superhero landscape.
Yeah, true.
However, the baggage you mentioned is real.
Yeah.
How do you explain his presence in a new universe without alienating new viewers who haven't followed the previous series?
Exactly.
Does his established history require significant explanation, or do you kind of gloss over it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you risk contradicting or undermining the established canon of the new DCU?
Tricky.
Very. The beauty of the multiverse, though, is that it provides a narrative framework to address these very questions. You can introduce him as a variant from another Earth, a visitor, a character whose timeline has converged somehow. This allows for both a nod to his legacy and the freedom for the new DCU to forge its own path. Ultimately, it comes down to clever writing and careful integration, ensuring his presence feels organic and adds to the new universe rather than simply being like a disruptive cameo.
Right.
It's a high-wire act, for sure, but if done right, the payoff could be immense.
Well, if you thought exploring Barry's legacy and potential return was compelling, our sources uncovered an idea so audacious it could completely redefine how we see Grant Gustin's range, and maybe the very nature of heroism itself. And that's the truly surprising tidbit that someone had the idea of Grant Gustin playing Reverse Flash.
Yeah, out. Really?
Yeah. Just imagine that for a moment. The man we've known for years as the fastest man alive, the paragon of heroism and self-sacrifice, also potentially embodying his archenemy, the Reverse Flash.
Wow, that's bold.
Isn't it? This isn't just a simple casting choice. It's a narrative bombshell that would utterly flip our understanding of his range and the character's inherent duality on its head. Picture the dramatic tension of seeing the same actor, with the same physical presence and recognizable expressions, portraying the ultimate embodiment of good speed and its malevolent, obsessive counterpart.
You'd need incredible trust in his acting abilities to pull that off convincingly.
Absolutely. Not just visually, but in terms of core motivations, personality, everything.
Yeah.
It would challenge the audience to reconcile the image of the selfless hero with the calculating, vengeful villain, forcing us to consider the fine line between their powers and their very different motivations, the implications. they'd be immense.
This really raises an important question about the very nature of duality in superhero storytelling, doesn't it?
Hmm.
To consider Grant Gustin, who so definitively portrayed the heroic Barry Allen, also playing his absolute antithesis, the Reverse Flash, it speaks to a profound narrative ambition. It would be challenging to execute, definitely, but incredibly rewarding if successful. Well, it would delve deep into the darkest reflection of speed, wouldn't it? Not as a force for good, but as a weapon of malevolence, obsession, and even like temporal tyranny. Such a casting choice would force the audience to confront that incredibly thin line between hero and villain, between destiny and choice.
And the darkness that can corrupt power.
Exactly. The inherent darkness that can corrupt even the brightest of powers if left unchecked. The dramatic irony would be palpable, forcing a reevaluation of everything we thought we knew about both characters.
It really digs into identity.
It does. This concept truly explores the core of identity. How much is defined by innate ability and how much by the choices one makes? If the same face embodies both the hero and his dark mirror, it suggests a shared potential for either heroism or villainy, making the distinctions even more harrowing and personal.
Yeah.
It would underline the idea that the power itself is neutral. It is the intent of the wielder that dictates its moral alignment. This kind of casting would be a masterstroke of storytelling, I think, demanding active participation from the audience in parsing the complexities of such a relationship.
Yeah.
It moves beyond simple good versus evil and into the realm of corrupted potential.
And when we talk about that specific dynamic, the Flash and Reverse Flash have such a deeply intertwined, almost parasitic relationship, right?
Definitely.
The idea of Gustin playing both simultaneously or even sequentially, how would that heighten the personal stakes for Barry Allen, knowing his greatest enemy looks like him or even is him in some twisted way?
Oh, it would escalate the personal stakes to an almost unbearable degree. Imagine Barry fighting a foe who not only possesses his speed, but his face, his voice, perhaps even distorted echoes of his memories. The psychological torment would be immense. And for the audience, it creates a powerful metaphor for the hero battling his own potential for darkness, or the parts of himself he fears. The Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, he's often portrayed as being obsessed with Barry, deriving his very existence and power from his connection to the Flash.
Right.
If Gustin played both, it could imply that Thawne isn't just an inverse, but a corrupted version of Barry. Perhaps a future gone wrong, or a temporal anomaly that is inextricably linked.
That adds so many layers.
It really does. This would add layers to their conflict, transforming it from a simple chase into a profound internal struggle for identity and purpose. It would beg the question, how much of Reverse Flash is Eobard Thawne, and how much is the twisted potential of what Barry Allen himself could become?
It's a terrifying thought.
And one that Gustin's dual performance could bring to chilling life.
So we'd be looking at a performance that demands immense range, not just like physical differentiation, but a deep psychological dive into two opposing forces. It would kind of redefine the idea of an actor's commitment to a role.
Absolutely. It wouldn't just be about putting on a different suit or having a different vocal cadence. Not at all. It would be about exploring the fundamental philosophical differences between these characters from the inside out. For Gustin, it would be an opportunity to showcase a truly transformative performance, demonstrating how subtle changes in posture, facial expression, and intent can completely alter audience perception of the same physical form.
Yeah.
He would need to convey the core differences in their moral compasses, their approaches to power, their relationships to time and destiny. It would be a testament to the idea that a villain is often the hero's shadow, their unlived life, or a terrifying what if.
Right.
And to have the same actor embody both would make that shadow inescapable, constantly reminding Barry and us of the very fine line that separates them. It's the ultimate test, really, of an actor's ability to create distinct personas within a shared physical reality.
Wow. Well, that concept of a hero confronting a dark reflection of themselves brings us perfectly to another core conflict outlined in your sources, one that truly tested Barry Allen and his team to their absolute limits. This comes from the video source you provided, which captures the chilling, almost divine-like introduction of Savitar.
Oh yeah, that entrance.
In a moment of sheer dominance, Savitar proclaims, "Who are you?" "Savitar, the god of speed. Let's go for a run." Good.
Just like that.
This isn't just another villain. This is a being claiming divine power over speed itself, immediately elevating the stakes far beyond a simple street-level threat.
Totally different league.
He doesn't just introduce himself, he immediately establishes his chilling dominance by telling Barry, "Not even close, still alive down there. You are only a shadow beneath my throne. You are the past, whereas I am the future."
Oof, that line.
It's an incredibly powerful and unsettling introduction, isn't it? Meticulously designed to immediately disorient, undermine, and utterly diminish Barry.
Yeah, he's not just faster.
No, Savitar isn't just faster than Barry. He positions himself as an ultimate, almost cosmic evolution of speed itself, a force of inevitability. His words are crafted to make Barry feel irrelevant, like a mere echo of something that once was.
And the casualness.
The casual dismissiveness in his tone, even as he declares himself a god, makes his threat feel even more potent and terrifying. He's not asking for a challenge, he's proclaiming an unavoidable hierarchy, a preordained victory.
This initial exchange immediately sets Savitar apart from almost every other speedster villain we've encountered. You're right, he positions himself not just as an adversary, but as an existential threat, claiming to be the definitive future to Barry's past.
It's more than just a physical fight.
Way more. It's a deep philosophical declaration that amplifies the stakes dramatically. It suggests that Barry is battling not just a person, but a potential inevitability, a dark, corrupted evolution of his own powers and timeline. His self-proclaimed status as God of Speed underscores an almost terrifying arrogance and a seemingly insurmountable power that directly challenges Barry's very identity as the fastest man alive.
It's a direct attack on his core belief.
Exactly. A direct assault on Barry's core belief in himself and his rightful place in the timeline. By stating, "You are the past, whereas I am the future," Savitar is asserting a form of temporal supremacy, implying that Barry's struggle is futile against the relentless march of time and his own eventual obsolescence.
Yeah.
This kind of villain doesn't just want to defeat the hero, he wants to invalidate his entire existence, his heroism, everything he stands for. It's a psychological battle as much as a physical one, aiming to break Barry's spirit and will before he ever lays a hand on him.
And it's effective.
Incredibly, the genius of this introduction lies in its immediate establishment of a villain who isn't just powerful, but deeply, personally threatening to Barry's very sense of self.
Okay, so the tension escalates rapidly from there. We see a truly critical moment unfold in Cisco's workshop. Barry, he opened the box.
The Philosopher's Stone,
Right. This act, seemingly simple, immediately unleashed pure chaos. We hear the chilling command, "Bow to your god," followed by the panicked cries of, "What is happening? We can't see it," just like at Alchemy's lair, the Avatar's loose. The Avatar here, just for context for you listening, is essentially a physical manifestation or conduit that Savitar uses to interact with the world outside the Speed Force.
A way for him to manifest.
Exactly. But what makes this moment truly gut-wrenching and memorable is Savitar's insidious psychological manipulation of Cisco.
Oh, that scene.
Savitar, understanding Cisco's deepest wounds, uses his profound and unresolved grief over his brother Dante against him. He projects a vivid, heartbreaking illusion, prompting Cisco's desperate plea, "I'm gonna save Dante."
And Barry has to tell him.
"That's not Dante, it's Savitar, please. He's using your memories against you. You're a good brother, Cisco."
It's brutal.
Cisco's anguished response, "I won't lose him again," just shows the immense emotional leverage Savitar held over him. It's a truly cruel tactic,
It really is.
weaponizing one of the purest forms of love and sorrow against a character known for his emotional depth and loyalty.
Savitar isn't just a physical threat. He's a master manipulator, able to exploit the deepest, most personal wounds of Barry's closest allies.
It's heart-wrenching because we, the audience, understand Cisco's torment, that fleeting, desperate hope of seeing his lost brother, immediately followed by the horrifying realization that it's a sick trick designed to break him and put his living friends in mortal danger.
He's torn between an almost irrational longing for what was lost and the immediate, terrifying reality.
Yeah.
What's truly fascinating here is the insidious nature of Savitar's attack.
Yeah.
It's not just about physical confrontation. It's a direct, calculated assault on the emotional vulnerabilities of Barry's most trusted allies. By projecting Dante's image and exploiting Cisco's raw, unresolved grief, Savitar demonstrates a profound and frankly disturbing understanding of their weaknesses.
This is exactly where to hit.
Precisely. This manipulative tactic forces Cisco into an agonizing dilemma. He's caught between clinging to a phantom of his lost brother and the immediate urgent need to save his living friends, Barry and Wally, from immediate danger.
This scene powerfully highlights how truly effective and terrifying villains target not just physical weaknesses, but emotional ones,
Mm.
turning a hero's greatest strengths, their deep connections and loyalty, into their deepest liabilities.
Reveals his strategic depth.
Absolutely. He understands that a team's cohesion and emotional bonds are often its greatest asset, and therefore its greatest vulnerability. By targeting Cisco's emotional core, Savitar creates a profound rift within Team Flash, sowing distrust and forcing painful, almost impossible choices.
Mm.
It underscores the idea that even the strongest individuals can be brought to their knees by the ruthless exploitation of their personal tragedies and attachments. It makes the battle far more personal and psychologically devastating.
Definitely.
This is truly villainy at its most refined
Yeah.
and cruel.
Amidst this chaos and emotional torment, Wally steps in, determined to help, maybe even prove himself.
Get Flash, yeah.
But he falls right into Savitar's trap. We hear the desperate cry, "Wally, no!" And despite Barry's frantic instruction to dodge and weave, Wally's is consumed, pulled into an unseen vortex.
Just gone.
Savitar then chillingly explains Wally's horrifying fate. Like the Greek myth of Atlas, who could not put down the sky until someone took his place, Wally has taken up my place in the Speed Force.
Wow, that comparison.
Yeah. And for those unfamiliar, the Speed Force isn't just the power source, it can also be a prison. Wally, we learn, has been condemned to suffering in an endless void for all eternity.
That's a truly horrifying fate, not just trapped, but endless suffering.
Exactly. The visual of Wally disappearing, combined with Savitar's cold, detached explanation, creates this profound sense of despair and helplessness for Barry and the team.
And it highlights the villain's calculated cruelty. He doesn't just defeat enemies, he replaces them, condemns them.
It's a deliberate psychological blow to Barry, watching another chosen family member fall victim to a scheme he can't stop.
And it feeds into Barry's guilt.
Absolutely. A direct consequence of his perceived inability to protect those he cares about. It's a stark, brutal reminder that even the most well-intentioned efforts can lead to catastrophe against a foe this cunning.
You've perfectly captured the profound despair of that moment. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the explicit use of the Atlas myth is highly symbolic and incredibly potent. It underscores the immense crushing burden Wally unknowingly accepted by taking Savitar's place in that Speed Force prison.
It's not just a swap.
No, not just a physical swap. It's a transfer of immense, seemingly unending weight, much like Atlas carrying the heavens for eternity. Savitar's deliberate trapping of Wally further demonstrates his tactical brilliance and his chilling capacity for cruelty. Turning Wally's youthful eagerness, his nascent heroism, even his moments of ego, into a tool for his own escape and the perpetuation of suffering.
It's weaponizing his good intentions.
Precisely. It also deepens Barry's already profound sense of failure as he watches yet another ally, another member of his found family, fall victim to a scheme that, as we'll see, is inextricably linked to his own past actions.
Right.
This highlights the immense personal cost of heroism and the ripple effects of choices made under extreme pressure. The Atlas comparison is particularly apt because it signifies a burden that is not just heavy, but seemingly endless and inescapable, implying a profound and eternal torment.
Adds layers of tragedy to Wally.
It really does, transforming his earnest desire to help into an unwitting, horrific sacrifice. For Barry, it's a direct consequence, amplifying his internal struggles and making the stakes intensely, gut-wrenchingly personal.
And then comes the truly shocking revelation of Savitar's origin, directly linking him in the most painful way possible to Barry's past choices.
This is the big one.
Savitar lays bare his chilling connection. When you created Flashpoint, you unwittingly provided me with the means for my return. You gave me the idea to turn Wally into Kid Flash, to make him fast enough to replace me in your prison. His youth and ego were my allies, so taken with his fame and speed, he never saw he was running right into my trap. Let's briefly contextualize Flashpoint again, that pivotal, disastrous event where Barry altered the timeline trying to save his family.
An act born of love, but
with catastrophic consequences. Savitar's explanation here reveals how Barry's well-intentioned, but ultimately destructive, act inadvertently set the entire stage for Savitar's return and his cruel manipulation of Wally.
it's the ultimate hero creates his own villain trope, but done so personally.
Exactly. It's a classic example of the hero's greatest mistake returning to haunt him in the most devastating way imaginable. Barry, trying to mend a personal wound, unknowingly birthed his most terrifying adversary.
And Savitar used Barry's actions as inspiration.
The idea that Savitar literally got the idea for his escape and plan from Barry's actions makes the villain an inescapable, horrifying reflection of Barry's own errors, a dark mirror of his past.
It twists Barry's compassionate impulse into the very source of a monster.
Yeah, which is a truly gut-punching realization for both the character and the audience. It demonstrates the profound and often unforeseen consequences of tampering with time.
This point raises an absolutely critical question about responsibility and unintended consequences, doesn't it? A recurring theme in these stories. Barry's creation of Flashpoint, while a desperate and understandable attempt to save his family, had catastrophic, far-reaching ripple effects. One of the most profound being the genesis and calculated return of Savitar.
It's a classic device.
It is. The hero's actions, even those born of love and desperation, become the very catalyst for their greatest nightmares. Savitar's deliberate targeting and exploitation of Wally's youth and ego serves as a stark, chilling reminder that powerful abilities, when unchecked by experience, wisdom, or humility, can be easily weaponized against the wielder.
Turning a hero into a pawn.
Exactly. Turning a potential hero into a tragic pawn in a villain's grand design. It's a powerful cautionary tale embedded deeply within the narrative. Even the purest intentions can unleash unimaginable chaos if not carefully considered in their full temporal scope.
And the fact that Savitar wasn't just like a side effect.
Right. The fact that Barry's own actions provided the explicit blueprint for his escape and manipulation adds a profound layer of personal guilt and inescapable responsibility to Barry's burden.
It forces him to confront the dark side of his power.
It really does. And the devastating, far-reaching repercussions of even seemingly minor temporal disruptions.
As if his origin story wasn't chilling enough, Savitar doesn't just claim to be the future, he claims to be the future Flash.
Which is just, wow.
He uses this twisted identity to taunt Barry, declaring with venom, "You have everything and deserve none of it," and threatens unimaginable destruction. "I'm going to destroy the city like I did in the future so you can see the truth, Barry, and then you'll treat me like a god."
His goals are pure devastation, psychological and emotional.
Totally. He aims to systematically dismantle Barry's life, promising, "I'm going to kill Joe and Wally and Iris, and then if I am going to die, then everything you love is going to die too."
Chilling. He wants to take everything down with him.
And let's not forget that classic, almost petty, villainous jab that underscores his arrogance. "My suit's cooler than yours."
Yeah, you gotta love that little touch of pure ego.
It's Savitar's ultimate expression of superiority, even over Barry's style, a final dig. By declaring himself the future Flash, he presents himself as the logical, albeit incredibly dark, evolution of Barry's own heroic path.
A twisted prophecy.
A twisted prophecy of what Barry could become if consumed by his pain, loss, and failures. His threats are deeply personal, striking at the very heart of Barry's support system, his motivations, everything he holds dear.
He wants to strip Barry of absolutely everything.
Leave him utterly isolated and broken, believing that only through such profound, absolute loss will Barry truly understand him and his warped philosophy.
What's truly fascinating here is the sheer depth of Savitar's twisted identity and his all-encompassing desire for vengeance. By identifying himself as the future Flash, he embodies Barry's potential darker self, a horrific future where profound suffering and repeated failure have utterly corrupted the hero he once was.
The dark reflection made real.
Precisely. His threats are not random acts of villainy. They are meticulously aimed at Barry's deepest attachments, designed to inflict the maximum psychological pain and to prove his own warped truth, that Barry is ultimately a failure, that love only leads to loss, and that pain is an inescapable destiny.
Yeah.
The seemingly trivial taunt about the suit, as you mentioned, it actually reinforces his arrogance and his deeply rooted belief in his own superiority, even in the face of his own impending demise. It's a manifestation of a dark inverse, a truly chilling reflection of Barry that has succumbed entirely to the immense pressures and traumas of his heroic life.
He wants Barry to see that truth.
Desperately. Savitar desperately wants to force Barry to acknowledge this dark reflection, to see the truth that Savitar believes that Barry's choices will inevitably lead to destruction, loneliness, and the loss of everything he cherishes. This makes him a particularly menacing and effective villain because he's not just an external physical threat, he's an internal one.
A potential future Barry has to fight.
Exactly. Not just for the city's safety, but for his very soul, for who he is at his core.
And so, the ultimate confrontation boils down to this fundamental philosophical clash, right? A battle of ideologies that transcends mere speed.
Absolutely.
Savitar, steeped in his own pain and twisted logic, believes in a predestined dark future for Barry. He states, "Now, I see, it's written."
And Barry's response.
Nothing's written, but Savitar pushes back. You kill me. You become me. Either way, I live. It's a cruel, inescapable trap he tries to spring.
A no-win scenario.
But Barry, even in his deepest despair, utterly rejects this fatalism. He asserts his free will and an unwavering commitment to his true identity. I'll never let the pain and darkness determine who I am. I will never be you.
Powerful moment.
This exchange, those specific lines, they are the absolute core of their entire conflict. It's a battle not just of physical speed and power, but of ideologies. What defines a person in the face of overwhelming adversity?
Yeah. Savitar tries to trap Barry in a perpetual loop of despair, suggesting that Barry is irrevocably doomed to become him, that his suffering will inevitably transform him into this monster.
It's a profound challenge to Barry's core.
It is a profound challenge to his deepest sense of self and his moral conviction. But Barry's response is a defiant roar against fatalism. It's a powerful assertion of agency and self-determination. He declares that his identity is not dictated by pain, trauma, or past mistakes,
But by choice.
but by his active, conscious choice to remain good, to remain true to himself, even in the face of such overwhelming darkness and a seemingly inescapable prophecy.
It's not just dialogue.
No, it's a profound statement of purpose for the hero, a testament to the enduring power of choice.
Yeah.
This final exchange truly is the emotional and thematic core of the entire conflict. It's a profound exploration of destiny versus free will, a timeless philosophical debate brought to life through superhero narrative. Savitar believes he's an inescapable outcome of Barry's journey, a self-fulfilling prophecy born directly from pain and darkness. He represents the very real danger that grief and trauma can warp one's identity.
But Barry fights that.
Barry's defiance, however, is a powerful assertion of agency, a declaration that one's future is not set in stone, even by past actions or immense suffering. His refusal to let pain define him, his adamant declaration that he will never be Savitar, is not just a rejection of his enemy.
It's reaffirming who he is.
Exactly. A profound reaffirmation of his own moral compass, his unwavering commitment to heroism. It's a crucial message for the listener, I think, that even when confronted with the darkest reflections of ourselves, with the potential for bitterness or corruption, we still possess the power to choose who we become.
Transcending the past.
Transcending the past and actively shaping our own future. This scene encapsulates the timeless struggle within heroic narratives, the fight against an inner darkness that constantly threatens to consume. Savitar represents the logical extreme of Barry's grief and trauma, an identity born from the very suffering Barry has endured.
So by rejecting Savitar.
By rejecting Savitar, Barry is essentially saving himself from a twisted fate, proving that while pain might be an undeniable part of his journey, it doesn't have to be the defining characteristic of his ultimate self. It's a powerful statement that choice, even in the face of what seems utterly inevitable, truly matters. #outro.
So what does this all mean for us and for your understanding of the Flash? We started this deep dive with the iconic, almost burdensome declaration of the Flash as the fastest man alive, then explored the truly surprising and, well, audacious idea of Grant Gustin potentially playing his arch-enemy, the Reverse Flash, forcing us to consider the very nature of duality in heroism.
Which was a wild thought.
Totally. From there, we plunged into the harrowing, emotionally charged conflict with Savitar, a chilling villain born directly from Barry's own actions, a dark echo of his past mistakes. It's been a journey that constantly challenged the hero's identity, forced him to confront the dark reflections of his power, and compelled him to reckon with the profound consequences of his choices.
Yeah.
From the optimistic declaration of speed to the chilling exploration of its corrupted inverse, and finally, to a showdown that questioned the very nature of destiny and free will. This deep dive has truly shown us the complex, fascinating tapestry woven around one of DC's most beloved heroes.
Indeed. This deep dive into your sources has beautifully illustrated how the character of the Flash, particularly as portrayed by Grant Gustin, is not simply about super speed or flashy powers. It's about much deeper, more universal questions of identity, the immense weight of consequence, and the enduring battle against both inner and outer darkness.
Yeah.
It highlights how past actions, even those born of noble intentions, can ripple profoundly through time, creating both unforeseen heroes and formidable villains. The narrative isn't simply about straightforward good versus evil. It's about the complex shades of gray, the unforeseen repercussions of even the most well-meaning decisions, and the constant internal struggle to define oneself in the face of extraordinary pressures and overwhelming personal loss.
A powerful reminder.
It really is a powerful reminder that the most compelling stories often come from the deepest struggles.
So, for you, our listener, this entire deep dive raises an important, maybe deeply personal question to ponder. In your own life, how much do you truly believe in what's written? In the idea of a fixed destiny or an inescapable outcome? And conversely, how much do you believe in your own power to choose your own path to defy those perceived inevitabilities, especially when facing the difficult consequences of past decisions or unforeseen challenges? It's definitely a question worth reflecting on as you consider the incredible journey of Barry Allen and the choices that truly define him.